Good morning, everybody, or should I say good afternoon. Thanks for joining this webinar. Let me give it just a few more moments for people to come in before I get started. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us for a webinar on what to expect at Homes Within Reach for presenters. I see that people are still coming in, so I'm just going to give it a few more seconds. All right, I think I should get started. Thank you, everybody, for joining. First of all, we really appreciate your presenting and moderating at our Homes Within Reach conference. We are very excited to have all of your panels be scheduled, and we're really looking forward to hearing you present, and I'm sure our audience is as well. So let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Jihyun Kim. I think most of you will have heard from me at one point or another. I'm the Research and Education Manager here at the Housing Alliance. And we have planned this particular webinar just to give you a little more thorough information about what you can expect at the conference and what you need to do to prepare for it, and to make sure that everything goes up without a hitch at your session. So let me bring up my slides and share my screen. Before I get started, I know there are probably going to be questions as the webinar goes on. So if you could please put those into the Q&A box or into the chat box, then I will get to your questions as soon as I'm done presenting. Of course, I can't see either of the Q&A or chat boxes while I'm sharing my screen, but I'll try to get to as many questions as I can with the time we have. And if not, I'll definitely reach out to you by email later. So that's it for the preliminaries. So let's jump right into it. So, of course, our conference this year is December 7th, the Wednesday, to December 9th, the Friday. The first 2 days we'll have both plenaries and affinity sessions, as well as regular workshop sessions. The last day will be kind of a half day where we will have 2 plenaries in the morning, and then we'll say goodbye. The conference is at the Hershey Lodge in Hershey, Pennsylvania, just like last year, and we will use more or less the same rooms, if you remember from last year. This is kind of on the outskirts of Hershey towards the Harrisburg side on University Drive. And for generally for more information about the ins and outs of the conference, please check out our website. If I could ask either Alicia or Jen to put in the link to the website in the chat, I would appreciate that. And when we send out these slides after this presentation, you can also click on the link from there. And I think we would encourage you to just bookmark the conference website just for easy reference whenever you need to reach it. Registration and lodging. So registration is a really important detail for us. So we are going to have envelopes ready for you with your speaker badges and speaker ribbons and drink tickets and all things of that nature. And so we don't want you to miss it, and we definitely want to have you in the system, as it were. So if you have not registered yet, please be sure to register as soon as you can, and definitely no later than November 22nd. Especially as there will be no on-site registration. So if you do want your speaker badges, you should register as soon as you can. And of course, you have the discount codes that we've communicated to you that should make the registration for the day you're presenting free. If you don't know what the code is, please reach out to us. As far as lodging, unfortunately, we do have to let you know that the usual conference room block, hotel room block that we have has been sold out. Rooms may still be available at the regular rate, which I believe is about $200 per day at Hershey Lodge. And there are also a number of other options available in the area. if you go to our website and click on the tab called Hotels, you can see what other options are available. So next bit I'll talk about is for our COVID policy. So we know this is going to be a large conference. I believe we have more than 600 people registered at this point. So we very much want to keep everybody safe. We definitely do not want people to go home and haven't contacted COVID at the conference. So to enable that, we have some safeguards in place. So we are requiring everyone, and that is everyone who is attending the conference, to either be fully vaccinated or have a negative test no earlier December 5th. That is 2 days before the conference. There are a couple ways that you, and I'll talk more about how you can give us documentation to confirm that. Last year, we did require everybody to wear a mask, but this year we are strongly encouraging but not requiring mask usage. If you do test positive for COVID within 10 days of the conference, please do stay home. And God forbid, we hope this doesn't happen, but if it does, please recover at home, and please let us know as soon as possible if there are any changes to your attendance. If you're unable to attend due to an illness, then we will definitely refund you any registration fees that you paid. And for our full COVID safety policy, there is a tab also on our website. I see a question here. Somebody registered for the training, but have not yet received a confirmation email to be able to send payment for it. If you reach out to either me or to the folks that have assisted you with your session, then you can definitely figure it out. And more about how you can send in the documentation for COVID. So the easiest option is to do that when you register, provide a picture of your vaccination card. But if for whatever reason you haven't yet, then that's totally fine. What we ask you to do is email a picture of your vaccination card to Allison@housingalliancepa.org, and my colleague Allison will take care of that for you. If you would rather take a test before the conference, and then you can either email us a picture of your negative rapid test or confirmation of a negative test from a healthcare provider. And that can be done through our special documents email, which is printed here, documents@housingalliancepa.org. Just to reiterate, though, that those tests should be taken no earlier than December 5th. And if you totally forget, we can also check your vaccination card or proof of negative test at the registration table when you check into the conference. But we do encourage you to send that documentation in beforehand, which will save you some time at check-in, because we will have kind of express line for folks who have turned in all their COVID documentation, and that line should go significantly faster. So with that out of the way, let me just give you just a couple of points to expect for preparing for the conference. So just generally, our goal at the Housing Alliance here is to support the success of your panel. And so if you have any questions about the logistics, please do reach out to us, especially if there are any changes in your panel. And at this point, I believe most folks have had at least one planning call with their panels. But if you haven't yet, please do confirm the flow and the structure of the panel, including things like who will speak when and what topics will be covered. And this should also have been communicated to you before, but just to reiterate, if you do have any slides to show, one person should be responsible for bringing the slides loaded onto a device with an HDMI port, usually a laptop. We will have the projector there as well as an HDMI connection available, but not the actual laptop or device to show them from. And if you have any handouts, please do print them before the conference. Unfortunately, we cannot support the printing of documents at the conference from our side. And also, as I said, definitely things may come up between now and December 7th or 8th. And if there is, we definitely want to be able to announce any changes to our attendees. So please let us know as soon as you can. At the conference, so when you come into the conference and check in at the registration table, moderators should have a note on their registration envelopes just double checking with you that you're a moderator, and you should pick up the moderator packet. This is something that's really crucial for kind of the well running of the panel, because it has important things in it, like the name tags for the presenters, as well as moderators' instructions, and as well as some housekeeping announcements that we would like you to ask to make. And that should be available at kind of the general registration area. There should be a desk kind of behind the long lines at the check-in. And there should be a staff member or volunteer stationed there to help you pick up your packet. And as I said, it has directions for moderators, name tags, and it also have continuing education forms for attorneys. And please be sure to pick it up kind of right after you check in to the conference so that your session is not delayed. Otherwise, you might have to run it down to you, and that might delay your session. So when the time of your session comes, we ask you to, first of all, kind of arrive at the session at least 15 minutes before it's scheduled to start. And then there should be materials in the moderator packet and instructions to help you through. And there should be also a staff member or volunteer who will be in the area, and they'll come check in with you 10 minutes or so before the session starts. And they should be able to answer your questions. Again, if you have slides, it's fairly simple to just connect your device to the projector with an HDMI cable. We do recommend combining all the presentation into a single file if you haven't done that already, just so it reduces time you have to spend between each speaker. And we will also have available presentation clickers that you can use to advance your slides remotely, and it has a little laser pointer as well. And if you do have any printed handouts, we'll also ask you to distribute them at this time before the session. And like last year, we will have table mics for the panelists, but we do discourage presenting like materials that are audiovisual in nature. I mean, you could, but the audio won't be set up to really capture the sound from that. So please be aware of that. So during the session, specifically moderators, we do want moderators to introduce speakers, because the title and affiliation that'll be available in the program book is just a title and affiliation, and there won't be specific bios in the program book. And time management is something, of course, that we ask moderators to do, because the sessions are fairly strictly limited to 75 minutes, and many sessions are going to be running back to back. And of course, part of the kind of richness of these sessions is a Q&A, so please do save some time for the Q&A as well. And again, please be mindful of the time and don't run over the scheduled time, because that might delay the next session scheduled in the same room. And to assist you on that, a volunteer will kind of peek their head in 5 minutes or so before the session is due to end, and then they'll wave a 5-minute left sign and get your attention. After the session, please collect the name tags that came in the moderator envelope and put them back in the moderator envelope. And we will also have kind of paper 4-question short survey for every attendee, kind of they'll be placed on the chair before you come in. And any completed survey forms should be handed in to you. And for you, please put them into the moderator envelope, and then we'll separate them out later. And there might be, if there are any attorneys in the audience, they might come up to you asking for a certificate of attendance for their continuing education credits. And those are going to be in the manila envelope that you have with the moderator packet. And sorry, again, please be mindful of the next session in the same room. If you do end up moving chairs or anything like that, please put them back as you found them. And of course, please return the moderator envelope to the registration desk so that we have all the surveys back. And we also like to share the presentation slides that you use to our audience. So if you could just email them to me, here's my email address, so we can post the slides online after the conference. We would greatly appreciate it. And that's it. I hope I wasn't speaking too quickly, but I'll be happy to take any questions. And again, thank you just so much for all of your work and your time and sharing your expertise. This conference would not be possible without you, literally. So we are very thankful for your efforts, and we are looking forward to seeing you in Hershey. And I'm just going to take a peek if there are any questions in the chat. Let me put in my email address in the chat. The anticipated size of the session room. So it varies depending on the room you are. If you want to know your exact room, I would recommend either reaching out to me or to the Housing Alliance staff that have been working with you. But usually they're about 80 seats. Some of the rooms are larger at about 100 or 120 seats. But we don't expect any room kind of having overflow, because last year we didn't have any audience sizes for these workshops that were over 80 people. Submitting COVID information. So if you have a vaccine card, please email them to us at Allison, my colleague Allison Norton at housingalliancepa.org. Her email address will be also posted in these slides that we'll share out with you shortly after. And you can also just reach out to anybody that you have been working with in terms of conference planning. The microphone setup. So we have each room set up for the maximum of 5 speakers. So there should be 5 table mics. They're kind of like these things that have a big base, and then you can kind of twist them to put them in front of your face. So they'll be on the table. With regards to a negative COVID test, we just ask you to just take a picture and send it to us at documents@housingalliancepa.org. Again, the email address will be, we'll refresh that when we reach out to you for follow-up after this webinar. Oh, and Jen also mentioned that if you want to just do it yourself, you can also go to our website, conference website, and then modify your registration. And that should also take care of it. And Alicia or Jen, did I miss any questions? Oh, fully vaccinated, or we are not cutting the boosters. So the original 2 shots will definitely count for full vaccination.
There was a question from Elaine about Homes Within Reach branded template for slides. Elaine, you can just use your own materials. We don't have Homes Within Reach branding for that.
Yeah. Although if you do want to have our logo, then we could send it to you, but totally up to you. The test can be at home, rapid test. It doesn't need to be taken at a healthcare provider. Can PDF materials be made available prior to or during the workshop? Irene, please let me know if I'm misinterpreting, but we don't have a way to reach out to folks prior to the workshop in terms of like email addresses, because folks are not registering for individual sessions. So if you meant like, can you email somebody some materials, then unfortunately the answer is not. We can't do that, but you could print them out prior to the conference to use as a handout. And let me see if there are any other questions. All right, there doesn't seem to be anything else unless I miss anything. Can they not be accessed online anywhere? So if by day you mean like a registration list, then no, unfortunately not. But we do have Wi-Fi at the conference venue. So that was definitely something we heard from feedback last year. So we do have Wi-Fi. So if you wanted to ask folks to go to a particular website during your presentation, that is an option. All right. If there are any other questions, please do email me. We will send out the slides from this session, as well as the email addresses about returning COVID information. Again, if you have any questions between now and December or anything comes up, please reach out to any Housing Alliance staff member that you've been working with or to me. And again, thank you so much. And I'd like to give all of us 40 minutes back. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks, everybody.